Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and we start today's video looking at the remains of the approach that I built in the last episode. Yes, I took a good look at this off camera after the recording. I must have spent about another hour and a half to 2 hours trying to figure this out and trying to come up with a better solution than the one I had. This approach that you see on camera in front of you with the splits, that wasn't a problem. The problem was that this seemed a little bit too far away from the mainline rail, and I thought that seems to be a bit of a waste of space. I could do something quite interesting with that. So I've gone ahead and changed it, and after the intro I will be showing you that. In today's video, I'm going to get this freight yard, or this marshalling yard, actually functional. So this... Now, I say actually functional, I'm not entirely certain how I'm supposed to get goods into this area just yet, namely coal. I'm going to see if I can set up a coal train to work its way through. But I also think that some of the signalling is going to require some improvement. So that is the plan for today's video. Make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. There is going to be potentially little to no railway laying today, but there probably will be some adjustments of signals and speed limits, things like that, and a lot of movement of trains, train lines, and making sure the routes are working properly. So yes, make sure you stay tuned, and let's get started. So, of course, the first thing I need to show you is this actually in action. So, I've used the same split, the same points as I did before, although you can see it isn't quite where I want it to be, so I might make a slight adjustment here to straighten this out. This is where the old route went. It went across this bridge, of which slightly further up over here I haven't completed. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this with a source. I'm going to try and make some sort of a source here. So yes, we had this bridge, and then we went into this, which went straight into that. But as you can see on screen in front of you, that has changed. It still needs a little bit of improvement, and there's no supports at the bottom, which is something I'm also going to be putting in. Also, unfortunately, we have these gaps on this side just because of the curvature of this particular track. It isn't as curved as it could be. I could certainly tighten this up much further. Just a prime example is I could tighten this up. Come on. There you go. You can see just how much I could tighten this up. Just noticed something quite interesting could happen there as well. If I really was tempted, I could have it go underneath that bridge, but I'm not going to do that. So yes, this is not that tight at all. Perhaps I could have smoothed the curve out a bit, but in all honesty, I think that this is the best that I am going to get. So we have all 12 tracks on a single bridge without any of the issues of the girders. Then all 12 tracks merge very slowly, or actually very quickly, into 2. And that is basically it. Now, I can put a signal here, which is actually one that I'm going to put in right now. And not a combined signal, just a full-size signal. There we go. And I'm sure I can put another signal just out here, but I'm going to put that in a moment. It does give it a really strange... It does give it quite a strange look, because now, instead of passengers being able to see the forest, if I go to about a passenger height, instead of them seeing the forest now what they're going to see is just a grass. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually doing some earthworks and lifting this up, smoothing out the gradients between these two, and then perhaps planting some flowers or something down on this side, because this side looks great, this side perhaps not so much. I've matched the bridge instead of having the iron bridge, I now have a stone bridge, which matches this one right here. This bit does look okay. And really the water, yes, it isn't animated, but the water really is working very well. And of course, for those of you who missed the last bit, that water goes all the way up into this little lake over here, and then continues all the way through Kingsbridge. This is probably the nicest river that I have actually managed to build, despite the fact that it isn't animated, and there are little bits here and there, but I've sort of left that in because it gives it a look of, okay, this is actually quite shallow. This is not as deep as some people might think. So there is that. I could have left this as a ford as well, but I decided against it. Thought, I'm not sure how I'm going to pull that off by making it a ford. I could use perhaps an invisible road or something, but I thought, no, let me just leave it as it is, leave it like this for now, or add the bridge in. So there we go, that is that. Let me go ahead and get rid of all the unnecessary bits. So that is already gone. And do let me know in the comments box below if you think that this is a good or bad solution to what I was trying to do. I think it's okay. It's perhaps not quite as elegant as I hoped it would be, but it isn't too far off in overall. Yes, this isn't too far off overall. Now this bit I need to figure out, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break this and going to try. Let's just find out where this goes first. It needs to stay flat. I'm going to see where the straight line goes for this. Apparently it doesn't want a straight line. So straight line goes there. So I want to keep this as a straight line. And see just what I could, in theory, I'm going to give this a bridge just for now. So I could, in theory, do something else with this. Right. Nope, not quite there yet. So I can always work on figuring out where it needs to go from. And I think that is where it needs to go from. Yes, I think that is where it needs to go from. So I'm just going to do that now, and then break this bit and this bit, reconnect that like so, and now we have straight lines, which works a little bit better. Now, I don't always do everything with perfectly straight lines and sharp corners, but in this case, I think it does work a little better. And in all honesty, this having some amount of a bridge and then a viaduct, and then I'm not sure. I'm not entirely certain what the best option is here. Now that as 4 works even better. Why can I not do that? I could, if I replaced it with that and then back to that. Now I have 4 with bastions, with supports. Now that could work. That could work really quite well. What do you think? No? Come on, you're at a red light, so I can ask you. Or, in fact, I can jump on board and have a look. So, roughly passenger view. About there. It doesn't look terrible. it really does not look too terrible. And then obviously I've got this, and then we've got that, and then goes into that. It does sort of. Okay, another thing I could do is potentially I could put these on. Yes, I could definitely put this on and see what that does. Let's see. So that bit is all fine. It's right at the end. Perhaps it starts getting a little problematic, but I could lift that up if I needed to. It gives it just a. It just gives it a little bit more of a. I don't know. I wouldn't say professional. It just. Aesthetically pleasing? Perhaps it's something to do with aesthetics. Okay, let me know in the comments box. Let me know what you think of these. This should be very easy to change back to an embankment should I need to do so, which is why I've done this in the first place. Because it would be a problem otherwise to change this to an embankment. If I change that to an embankment now, I will not be able to change it back. So, okay, so that is that. This is unfortunately the wrong kind of bridge. I want to see if... Oh, no. Oh, it's you two again. Do you know what? I really don't care about you two. Just go away. I'm not sure why those two get blocked. All of episode 200, I had this issue. I just kept cutting it out. Right, where was I? Back to here. Okay. Let's have a look at what would happen if I did make an attempt to change this. It actually fixes it. So a number of these things that I'm fixing now is just historical stuff that I never managed to fix, and I'm thinking now is a perfect time to fix them. So if I'm using this bridge here, I should be using this bridge here, and in all honesty, anywhere in this area I should be using that same kind of bridge, which I'm not. I'm using that there, which is actually a mess. Okay, I'm going to replace this with this. It works a little bit better. And over here, I'm going to replace this one. Tell me that something will fit. Okay, this isn't going to let me do that. That's a damn. Okay, if it isn't going to let me do that, perhaps I should replace it with oh, quiet. Perhaps I should replace it with one of these bridges. I'll have a look. I'll have to have a look at what I do with that. This bridge needs to be replaced. It probably isn't going to let me do that either. It does. It messes up the styling. I say it messes up the styling. It does still have something. It's just that these... That one could work. Yes, that will work. I'll do that. There you go. Okay, that will do. We'll get back to those at a later time. As I said, the main focus is getting this up and running. So I can now put a signal right here. So I'll pop that signal in there, and I need to do a measurement. So from coming in here from, let's say the back of the train is going to be there, what is the measurement in? If I can get to a point where we have 500 yards, that is the 500 yard mark. Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to place a signal in here temporarily. And then let's try and measure up another. What is the distance to the next signal? It isn't going to be 500 yards, that's for sure. It might be 400. 430 yards to the next signal. How much further would I need to go to get the 500? Ooh. There. that is where I need to go to get the 500. Okay, potentially. There is potential for 2 500-yard. So, if I were to tighten some of this up, which is possible, there's no problem in tightening this up. If I were to tighten some of this up, I would be able to get the 500 yards in. So that is what I'm going to now do. So I'm going to bust these and bust those. These ones can be connected. Viaduct, please. Embankments, please. I'll change the speed limits in a moment. We'll do that and that. And then let's see what sorts of speeds we can look at. That tightens that up much better. Good. So that is that bit tightened up. Now the 500 yards is there, so I need to have a crossover and these in that gap. So what I'm going to do, break, break, break. I will bring each one of these in 10, 12 yards, fine. Just bring them in roughly to the same amount. 12 yards, there we go. And you. Okay, good. Break this and see how tight I can get this bit. So if I were to do that, that's a little bit too tight. But if I were to do this, so that goes there, and copy that on this side. One step further, is that what it was? No, it is there, 67 yards, good. And then that says too much curvature, but that's okay because this one will fit. And from here, I can very easily split this like so. Wait, why did that do that? There we go. Okay. That is a little tighter. I'm not keen on this bit though. No, I'm not keen on this bit. This is too close for comfort. So back we go. Start again. I'll do... Let's get this up to the curve there. And see if I can connect that like that. Better. Right, let's try that again then. So, once again, up to the curve there. Was it there? Not sure. And connect that like that. Good. Ah, that pushes that in really close. That was the issue. And it isn't going to let me do that. Will it let me do this? Lets me get away with that one. Will it let me get away with one more? No. But I can always pull that around the side of... Can I always pull that from here? Why is it being so awkward? Stop being awkward. That? No. Okay. Well, this is proving to be more difficult than I had envisaged. Simply because I cannot tell it to fix a spot. How about that? That works. Okay, that works. Right, let's try and copy that. So how did I do that? Like so, and then like that. And get the third one as soon as the too much curvature goes, which is there, and then in. Okay. That is better. Now what I can do is very carefully put one of these in. Okay, well apparently it does not want to do that. Thank you. Sometimes this title sometimes is really quite problematic. There. Now I can put the signal in right here. Remove this one. Remove that signal. And we have over 500 yards there and 500 yards or thereabouts about there. So I'm just going to push this forward just a touch. So unfortunately, trains coming into here at this point in time cannot be longer than 500 yards, which is still double the size of... No, looking at this, it's probably triple the size of this, right? 196 yards, it's 2.5 times. So, yeah, two and a half times longer than this train, which is currently sitting here, but it won't be because this is coming into here very, very soon. I've gone ahead and added all the signals there. These signals are correct on this side, so both these are signaled up on both sides. I think, should I signal? I've got a signal there. I need to put a signal here. There we go. And is that... Oh, that's a little wobbly. I need to try and fix that. How do I fix that? Not keen on that particular corner. So this is what this episode is all about. It's all about cleaning these bits up. There we are. Much better. Much, much better. Right, and there is a signal here for that, so that is correct. Can I go 500 yards back from here? Probably quite easily. Very easily. And put a signal right here. I'll put it a little bit further back. And hopefully that is enough to cover 500 yards over here, which it is, without getting in the way of anything else. Coupled with that, 500 yards up on this is going to be where? There, so I'm going to probably put a signal about here. There we go. That's a signal up there, which should then very easily be... I know that I do not even have to measure that, but just for completeness sake, let's find out exactly how long that is. Come on, guess all the way around. Okay, do not guess all the way around. That's 356 yards. It's going to be obvious that this is going to be from here. That's over 200 yards. Oh, come on. 170, 350. Yep, that will do. That's 500 yards. Okay. And also, I know I have to fix this, so I might as well go ahead and do that now. Oh, come on. Wall. Which wall piece was it again? None of those. What wall was it? have no idea. Was it this? No. Pillar? Wall? What did I use? Pillar. Wait a minute. What is... It says point at terrain. There it is. Okay. Why did I never use this? It lines up to the track. It does what it needs to do. I am quite silly. How big is this one? It's a little large, but I can always try and make that smaller, right? Why did I not use this? I've used this before. I have actually used this one before. I know I have. Yeah, I should have just done this. Instead of spending all the time doing that, look at that. It's done it for me. Okay, admittedly, not all of them are going to fit, but let's try and figure this out, shall we? Exactly at the point where it will fit. In fact, I can even push it back just a touch. There we go. You go, you go. But it just works. It just works. I have no idea why I did not do this in the first place. Next time, I'm going to do that. So, pillar, the only problem is this one, because it is quite diagonally. How much can I skew this? If I were to put it there, what happens? Oh, it's close. This is close. That puts all of those. Offset? Where does that place that? Where does it place it? But offset doesn't seem to do anything. Sideways tracks. Oh. Okay. Sideways offset. No, no. Road offset. No. Let me break that and see how close this is. Yep, that's a crash. Okay. So I need to either break that. No, I am going to break that. And just hope that that's supported enough. Can we call that supported enough? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that is supported enough. Now I'm going to place this as close as I possibly can. Nope. Just trying to use as much as I can. I guess I could give it double support on that side and give it a double support on this side just to increase the strength of it. There we go. So it's doubly supported in this area. Yep, that will do. That will do nicely. Why did I not do this before? There's one more to put in. I spent all that time trying to figure that out. Right, so now that that is completed, I need to start adjusting lines. So, which lines need to be adjusted where? So we've got this purple line. What is that one? So that's the freight. I'll be adjusting that freight in a while. Sudbury to Taunton. That is the first one that needs adjusting. So we go Sudbury. Yes, you are fine along here, but I wish for you to go past this There we go. And on your way back, you need to go past this. Okay. That's completed. So that now works. We now have that working as we want it to work. This needs to change colour. It's going to be confusing for me. So that's a bad colour. That's a bad colour as well. I'm using all of these colours. I cannot even see that colour. Great, sure. I need to come up with a different colour to use just for these. Pinks. Maybe I can use like a pink. That's not good enough. That'll do. Okay, so that's running around. That's not something I need to worry about. These will now be moving. That is fine. The next thing I need to do is... oh, there's a lot of stuff pottering around on this road. That's kind of cool, though. That is kind of cool. I'm not entirely comfortable with this. You know what? Whilst I've got the chance. There. Can I do that? Let me do that. There we go. That is better. Hello. Bye-bye. Yes, that is a lot better. Good. And then we go up along this, and yeah, this is not an issue. So what I could do is I could break. Oh, that's actually part of the bridge. Never mind. I was going to say I could break that because potentially put another one in right here. Just makes it look a lot more supported, which is what I'm after. I could have changed this to all sorts of supports. Grey stone would have looked nice. Bricks, maybe not. Yellow brick, potentially. It gives it more of that Great Western feel. Definitely more Great Western Railway feel than what I've currently got. I'll have to see. Let me know again. Let me know what you think. Even the grey stone sort of works. For now, I'm just going to go back to brick dark. Okay, so that is that bit done. Next up, let's have a look at all of these and see what we can do. Okay, so Southern Freight is currently, if I actually show you this, I've never shown this line before, so if I pull this line up, Southern Freight, and only this line, I'm going to pin that one. You get to see it. There you go. It covers all of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to Shepshed. So all of this is covered by Southern Freight, which is a little bit much, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trains covering that, going in and around, I do not think is going to be too much of a problem. So I'm going to start by having Southern Freight set up as a single line. If I need to do so, as I have done up here where I've split it into 2 or 3, I'll do that. But for now, it is all going to stay as a single line. I do have concerns on how exactly I'm going to pull this off, because some of these bits, as you can see, are a little bit complicated. But I'm going to work on it. So let's go ahead and start managing that line. We start at Stratford upon Avon Cargo. So that is our starting point, and then it goes past Sudbury Signal 44. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to get it into... let's see. I think bringing it into this one, Kingsbridge Exchange, seems like a seems like a good one to bring it into. So I'm going to add this as a station. There we go. And now we're going to follow it around and say that is absolutely fine. It goes past 44, but I think at this point, if I remove that, it cannot cross over anyway. So that isn't a problem. Right, Sudbury Cargo. Now from Sudbury Cargo, we go to Taunton Cargo, but we cannot do that now. We have to come back here to pick up more stuff. So that is what we're going to do. So after Sudbury Cargo, we're coming back. We're coming back to this. And then we've got the struggle of getting it to Taunton Cargo, but we've got Kingsbridge Signal, which no longer needs to apply. Sudbury Signal 45, which probably doesn't need to apply. And then we've got it going to Taunton Cargo this way. But I do not want it to go that way. I want it to go from here. I want it to go past this side. There we go. So that will go out that way. There's the crossing or the crossover. I've just realised, do I somehow have DLSS running on this? No, surely not, because it looks like it. But this game doesn't support DLSS, so how is that happening? There's just this weird amount of ghosting that I'm seeing. I'm seeing some ghosting, and I'm not entirely certain why or how. Anyway, after Taunton Cargo, of course, you have to return to here. And for that, we will go... Let's go up here. Kingsbridge Signal, that can disappear. And then we're going to go back to Stratford-upon-Avon, which is not a problem. And then from there, normally, it would go to... Oh, actually, no, that is right, because that's going to go to... So I'm going to call this one Stratford-upon-Avon Sidings. Then it's going to go to Chagford. So from here, what it has to do, it has to go here, and then it has to turn around and go this way, unfortunately. And then from Chagford, it goes back to Stratford-upon-Avon Sidings, and it wants to go to Shepshed, except no, you're going to be coming back here. And then you are going to be going to Shepshed. From Shepshed, you come back to here. Then we are going to go get rid of that one for now. In fact, get rid of all of these. We'll figure this out later. So it goes to Bridgnorth. From Bridgnorth, it comes up to here. From there, it goes to Kingsbridge Cargo, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Then from Kingsbridge Cargo, it comes back to here. And you get rid of that. And that is our new routing. Now, it currently only uses these ones because I'm reserving these for the larger trains. So I think this should be all right because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 trains and we have 6 potential lines. 6 potential lines it can use. Not that these lines are going to be perfect, but I'm going to see what I can do. Now, I'm going to rename these right now to Southern Marshalling Yard Short Upper. And this is going to be Southern Marshalling Yard Short Lower. And then nothing's going up there, so it doesn't really matter. Although, I guess if I click it right now, I can actually go Southern Marshalling Yard Long. There we go. Okay, so that gives me, at least I know what on earth is going on and where things are. I will select all lines for this because I can. Same for this one. Now, really, Sudbury Cargo... If you're going to Taunton, yes, you know what? That is fine. And then you come back and go to Short Upper, which is also fine, I guess. Let's start selecting all of these, because then, as you can see, it starts giving us a little bit more in terms of how things are used. Check for cargo doesn't matter. It's just these that I'm just opening up all the potential for. And there we are. Okay. Now I need to see if this messes up anywhere. From here, that looks, yes, messy, but it works. Right here. This bit might require a little bit of work, because that might get in the way of things. So I'll work on. I'll have a look at that. I'll have to watch it and make adjustments. This bit looks all right. Might need to add a passing loop. I've got a passing loop there that I've already added. I think a second passing loop just here might be required. I'm going to clean that up and perhaps add a second passing loop just there. That is all looking fine on this side. This side, everything is being used properly except for this. No, this is not right. So coming back from Kingsbridge, you must go past this signal. There we go. That's much better. Good. You are fine going straight through the middle. I do not see that as an issue just yet. That is all fine. I think I've shown you this on camera, that I've sorted these bridges out up to there, but not further yet. I've gone ahead and done this all the way up to here. I've gone ahead and done that. That is all fine. This should not have changed, so that is fine. I'll find out what train 60. What was train 62? No path. Okay, well, that's because of the way I've changed the route. And on this side, all of this is looking reasonable. Goes across there. Signalling is probably going to be required here. Yes, definitely going to have a signal right here. Now that this is in play. And going to have to add more. So that's going to have to be 60 all routes, and I'm going to have to put a 25 sign for the side or whatever it is. This bit looks fine. I think I've messed this up slightly, and I need to do something somewhat different with this, but haven't figured out what it is. I think it needs to be something that goes across like that, but as to how I'm going to pull that off, I'm not certain. I think I'll have to redesign. Yes, I think I'll have to redesign this section. This is all fine. Goes up here, along here, right the way through. This is through the middle. I'd rather it did not. So anything coming up to Shepshire. So that's that one. You need to go on the side route. Keep out of the way. Coming back from Shepshire, also keep out of the way. There we are. So that stays out of the way there. Once it gets to here, we are okay. There's a train already making its way in. I've gone ahead and off camera also tried to fix this bridge. It does have a really weird arch there, but it has the ends. I could have perhaps made this a little shorter, but I do not want to touch it because I think I'll break it. And that goes into Shepshire without a hitch. That looks good to me. Let's go ahead and play that and see what chaos ensues. And whilst that is happening, let's go ahead and set up any and all routes that need to be set up in town to get freight goods into the various areas. So goods, just put a stop, 12-meter stop. So this bit, it picks up there. I'm going to place one in here. Yes, I think I'll place one just in here. There we go. That looks reasonable for now. And I'll set that up as a new line there to... Where is it? There it is. I was going to say, well, where'd it go? There to there. And I'm going to call this Shepton Goods Yard. And I'm going to name this line FRRA Shepton. Shepshed, not Shepton. Why am I saying Shepton? Shepton Mallet, that's on the other side. Shepshed Goods. Where'd it go? Where did it go? What? Shep? No. Okay, I had a line. Where did it go? I have no idea. Oh, because it's trains. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Let's try that again. There we are. It is now there. That one, black, because that's green. That's deep green. There we go. Now I know where that is. Although, Berwick Freight, they're all in different colours. Okay, well, purple? Sounds like something out of Rise of Nations. If anyone's played Rise of Nations, that's what it sounds like. Or green. Green probably stands out a little bit better, so I might make these all green. That green, no. That green is little dark, little bright. Should be a green in the middle. Please tell me that. What green is it that I've used? There it is. Right. I'll do that then. So, that is Shepshed's goods line done. Now, I have no idea whether this is going to mess things up again. I'm going to see. So I'm just going to buy one. I'm going to set it up on this one and see which direction it starts driving in. Right side of the road. Good. Okay, I can now buy another... Let's buy another 5 of these, I think. And we'll set them running cost very high, set them on to Shepshed Goods. In fact, in all honesty, I can probably select every one of these and make sure the running costs are very high. There we are. Okay, they are on their way. That is one town in this area that has its goods up and running. Let's go ahead and get the next one up and running as well, whilst the autosave kicks in. So we've got some goods over here. So that would be an interesting one to definitely pick up. I would like to set... Okay, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to set this just here, but I'm going to make a couple of these down here in Sudbury, because I think I'm going to have to, especially given where I want this to actually push its goods to. Or if I just do the one there, hang on, that covers that area, which isn't everything. you'll note that if I do that, there's all of this that still needs some work. So I could place a second one there, but realistically I want them to be building in this area, so I'm going to place another one here. Okay, new line goes from there to there to there to there. That'll do. This is green. RD, sorry. Sudbury goods. Excellent. That will do. Where did I put the depot? Where have I gone and left the depot now? There it is. Okay. Once again, as a test, send just one on its way. Make sure it pops out on the right side. It does. I can now go ahead and get the rest of them. Probably going to grab 10 for you. And off you go. Alright, that's 2. Let's go ahead and do the same for Kingsbridge. So, yes, Kingsbridge one is here. And so Kingsbridge is going to be interesting, I would say, because we have a lot of goods and things in this area, but we also have a lot of fuel. If I can somehow get this to become residential, that would be good. Yes, that would be good. I'm going to pop this down here. Okay. New line from there to there. Same colour. FRRD Kingsbridge goods. Goods. Yep, there's an F in there somewhere. Once again. And if you're wondering why I am testing this, it's because for some reason every now and then these depots tend to revert to right hand drive. Sorry, right hand side drive. We are right hand drive, but right hand side. So you drive on the right as opposed to the left. So I have to check them, and it's easier for me to check. It is easier for me to check one vehicle before sending them off on their merry way than sending them all off and then trying to figure out where they get stuck, or noticing it and then having to go back and try and find the vehicles and delete them and whatnot. Okay, Kingsbridge is now completed. Let's go ahead and do Taunton. So this is what the rest of this episode is going to be. As I said, getting the freight up and running. So, does that cover? It doesn't really cover that at all. So I'm going to place it right here. But also, because I want freight to move into this area, I'm going to place another lot right here. Because I'd rather this become freight around the side of this and then have all of this as housing and have just this area here as freight. That would be quite good, in my opinion anyway. There we go. Next one. There and back. Wrong colour. Right colour. FRRD Taunton goods. There we go. Job done. Do I risk this one? No. This has been a working formula thus far, so I'm going to stick to this. Right side of the road. Good. Bring another 6 of these up. Excellent. So that is Taunton now covered. Chagford. In all honesty, I think it covers all... Well, it doesn't cover all of it. Interesting. Not all of it is covered. So we've got... So let me go ahead and place this just in here. Right near Nationwide. They're on your side. Right. That's an old advert. There's something Nationwide. We're on your side. Side. How do they used to say the word side? It used to be quite open. Nationwide. We're on your side. I don't think they had quite as gravelly a voice. There we go. There to there. So I remember quite a lot of these old adverts. We used to have an energy company here called PowerGen. And they used to... was it PowerGen? Was that a UK-wide energy company? I think so. But there was this energy company called PowerGen a long time ago. And what on earth is going on here? Well, you cannot go back and forth like that. Use your brain. Well, I'm going to see what happens there, because that is interesting. Yes, so, and I think the slogan for it, or just before the weather, they used to come out with this statement, and it'd say PowerGen. So it was a sponsor of whoever it was. Was it Thames, ITV, whatever it was. This one I'm interested in. This one I need to see all the way through. I want to know what happens. And he used to say PowerGen, generating electricity, whatever the weather. And then the person used to get on with their weather and whatever it was. Which used to be both in Celsius and Fahrenheit back then. Come on truck, stop wasting time. I need to see this. As we are coming up towards the end of this video, I do need to see how this one pans out. Okay, you've gone in the right direction. That's good. You have come out on the right side of the road as opposed to what it said it was going to do. Okay. You are doing what you need to do. Good. I'll go ahead and maybe give you another 3. Off you go. Come on. Alrighty. So, Chagford is done. Next up, Stratford upon Avon. This one is definitely going to need quite a bit because everything's on the opposite side. So I shall place it. I think here's an... No, it needs 2. It's going to need 2, so I'm going to give it 1 there. And the other one is going to be... Ooh. Down this road? That might cover most things. There and there. There we go. Okay. Build. New line. 1, 2, and 3. Get that in the right green. FRRD. Stratford goods. Now this, I think I moved, but once again, not being entirely certain, I'm going to test it. This is on the right side of the road. Alrighty, let's get another 9 out for this particular town. Things are starting to look better. This is just a shame I could not put all of this detail into the whole town. Because if I could do that and put things like this in the entire town and get the colours to actually look right, I think it would look brilliant. It really, really would look brilliant. Just from here, just the bustling nature of this town, that's the gasometer in the background, seeing some of the chimneys, the station, it does have some elements of Britishness to it. It definitely has some elements of Britishness to it. Right, I did say I was going to do something with this, so I better do that before I forget as well. Let's start from here and up to here first, because I need to smooth that. Better. And then I'm going to add... Oh, I need to change the speeds. That's the other thing I need to change. 40 mile per hour, is that what this is? 40? No. What speed is this? 50. 50. Rightio. 50 it is. Okay. Give it 250 yards. There we are. And signals on both sides. Somebody left a comment saying that I needed to upgrade the signals across the map. I should point out that I think pretty much every signal across the map is a Great Western Railway signal. So I'm not entirely certain what you may be talking about. I'll go ahead and check, but I'm not entirely certain. Oh, does that allow that to go? It does, because we have this train on its way back. So we've got one passing loop there, one passing loop here. Good enough. Good enough to keep things going. Yes. Excellent. So that sorted. I've got those going in there, and then poor old Bridge North, which is so tiny I do not even need to set up the freight yet with it, even though the freight is out there. I'm not going to set that up just yet because I have to decide what to do with Bridge North, but that does bring me pretty much to the end of this video. What I need to do is double check speeds and make adjustments accordingly. 60 through there is fine. Let's go ahead and sort out the 60 here though. So upgrade to 60. 60 through that is fine. Up here, this is where things are going to become, so I want 15 miles per hour in from here. Is that done? No, that bit. There we go. Okay, that is 15. 15. And then all of this should be 15 as well. I can hear a train that's pulled in somewhere. And of course, as I said, this is not going to be perfect because there might be some signaling issues, and I'll have to look through that. That should not be right. This is going to be 40. After bridge, this is 40. I do after bridge or before bridge? No, after bridge. This is 40 up to there. Good. Right, and finally, let's put some of these in. I think there was a comment about where I got these signals or where I got these speed limit signs from. They're mine. So if you just search it up on the workshop, if you just look for LNER or BR trackside signs, you will find them. They are mine. So I couldn't find any, so I made them. 40 is what that is. 15 all lines low. Could I have it low or high on that? No, let's make it up here. There we go. 15 all lines. I could probably bring that a little closer, couldn't I? There we are. And then at the bridge here, I need to move those as well. None, 40, and 60. Good. And then right here, the one that is a little messy, unfortunately, 100. For some reason, the number 1 keeps disappearing. As you can see, LOD model issues. I should fix that. 60 to the left. Low pole. Yeah, let's do that. 60 to the left. Job done. So all of that is now completed on this side. I'm okay with all the speeds through here. It is 10 inside these. Do you know what? 10 is fine. I'll do that. I'll make this 10 all the way across. I'll put them right at this. Yeah, let's just put them right here for every single one. And I'll turn this all to 10. One of those seems out of line. Why does actually some of these are out of line, full stop. There we go. 10 all the way. You go away. Yeah, there's the issue. I'm going to try and see if I can figure that lot out. Also, I do need to try and adjust these textures so that it is so that the textures have black backing. But with Transport Fever 3 coming out and this series is going to be coming up to an end and things like that, I'm considering whether or not it is worth it. I suppose it could be, because I still have 6 months of this to go. So I suppose it is worth it. There we go. 10 and 15, and that is why, because if that was a black background, you'd never get that mixed up. There we are. Good. And let's have a look on this side. We do have 15s. And that's not what I meant to press. There we go. So that is 10 all the way. This is 15 up to here. So I guess I'll put there is definitely something weird going on. I can definitely say that. Just wish I knew what it was. Look at that. Where does this become a... It's about here. There we go. I should probably set that as 15 all routes, but it's fine. I'll speed this bit up, I think. Yeah, I'll speed this bit up and then slow it down to 15. I'll slow it down to 15 right here. That's hidden. That's bad. 15 there. And let's go ahead and have a look for this. Probably do the same with this one. 15 from... I could do 15 from the signal. No, let's do 15 from here. There we go. And this one is 40 up to this section here. So 15 from there. And 40 from there. Good. And I'll probably try and do the same. Let's make this 40. So up to... Yep, up to there. Oh, that's 34. 30 for this one. That's 30. Not all the way. Why does it want to go all the way? There we go. Okay, that is now 30. Can I get 40 on this? Most likely. Yep, 40. So that will be 40 from there on. From there to all the way in. That is 40. Good. I'll sort that out with the signs in a bit. That's 80, that's 100. With the 60, that's already done. That needs to be 40. That is 40 there. I'll make this 40 through there. Then it goes up to 60, which is not an issue. Those are still 40. That's the old ones. And that is 40 in. Is that because I couldn't get the 60? I think I could not get the 60 speed and maintain the distance that I wanted. So unfortunately, these ones are going to be 40. So I'll put 40, 60. These need to be high poles. I don't know why I've put that as a low pole. Where is it? Where did it disappear? There it is. High pole. There we go. 60. And what was this speed? Bring this back up. 100. 100. That's not a problem. I'll mark it from here that it is 40 to the left. There we go. Good. That's that bit done. 60 and then 40 I'll mark again. 40 to the left. 60 over here. 40 marked here. Just so people are doubly aware as of what the speed limit is, or as to the speed limit. So I'll give the 40 there. I did. 40 over here. There we are. Marking for 40 to the left. 60 straight. 25, I'm going to deal with that. 30 to the right. Why is that showing both? That's not right. Oh, because I literally selected both. Well done, brain. 60 straight. That should be fine. And then 15, of course. 15 all lines. And 30 from here. That is looking reasonable. Oh, and I need to put the 10s in, of course. 10s and 15s. I'll probably do that off camera. I think I've done enough already. We have a train coming in. It has arrived. I think this is working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can get a screenshot of... I don't think I'm going to get a screenshot of this train the way I want it to. but I'll try anyway. What I am going to do is a little bit of painting. Ballast, that, not quite that much, just to get rid of all of this grass. Make that a little bigger. I'm going to pause that to see if I can actually get that train to work and stay where I want it to stay. Get rid of this grass as well, like so. That's looking better. Okay. Potentially, I can get it like that. Looks terrible because of my stupid level of detail. My own mod is ruining it for me. Great. There we go. That could be something. Try and catch it at a good enough angle. Not the greatest of screenshots, but it will probably do for a thumbnail. This is now it. The marshalling yard, the final marshalling yard is now active. All I have to do is get goods to it. Things will be going in and out of this marshalling yard exactly as they now should. All the signals are in, all the speed limits are in. This is smooth enough. This isn't perfect. Okay, where are you going? Which part of the... Right, there is a way for me to check which part of the route you are on, right? Stop 11 of 20, there we go. So, you still have to go... You're going to be going Sudbury next. Where are you going? You're going Shepshire. I suppose I could try and get a thumbnail here. That could work, because I can just about see another train. That could definitely do something as a potential thumbnail. It isn't great, but it is something. So, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below. Let me know what you think, any suggestions you might have. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That sort of works somewhat, right? That might work in some sort of fashion. I'm not entirely sold on this. I'll be completely honest. I'm definitely not entirely sold on this with the bridge and this dip. So I'm not 100% sure. But there we go. That is all from me. I am now trying to figure out whether or not I have I need to go somewhere to check this. Whether or not I have some sort of DLSS or frame gen or something running. So I'm going to go to where I know things lag like crazy. That is over here, and end the video whilst I am testing this. So yes, that is all from me. Hello? What happened? There we go. That is all from me. And I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where I have a few more things that I need to do, goods yards wise. Well, not goods yards wise, but freight wise. And I think once I have completed that, there really isn't much that needs to happen, except one more big project in a town that I've ignored, and that would be Shepton Mallet. Make sure you stay tuned for that in the coming episodes. Thank you very much once again, and I'll see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series.